Up, everybody? Welcome to Don't Give Up with Jacob. Today, I have a special guest joining me on my show. Not only that, so with that, it's my pleasure to welcome to my show Nino Fincher.
Thank you, Jacob. It's fun to be here with you.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely fun to be here with you as well. Welcome to my show. I'm so
Thank
glad
you.
you're here today.
Thank you.
All right, so whenever you're ready, I got a couple of questions to ask you about your life. Sounds good?
Sure. Let's go.
All right. So first off, I want you to give a little introduction and introduce yourself to my audience. Tell me what you do for an everyday living and what inspired you to be doing this.
I help people who feel stuck emotionally or mentally move forward very quickly. And a lot of my clients are people who feel anxious or feel depressed or feel like they don't f- aren't really clear about what's next and how to make sense of things. And unlike a lot of other methods of therapy, I help them in under 2 sessions.
All right, sounds very interesting. I bet numerous people deal with anxiety, especially when they're just stressing over too much, especially work and school,
Yep.
and it's definitely tough. So
Yes, it
good for
is tough.
you.
Yeah. Have you ever dealt with anxiety?
I mean, I do kind of stress over some things, and that's a little bit of anxiety, but it's mostly stressing over some stuff. I
Yeah.
especially do that, especially with living with autism.
Yeah. Yeah. So how have you managed it? How have you learned to handle the stress?
Well, I handle stress very simply. I like to say to myself, "It's okay, Jacob, you got this. Don't worry about it. You'll get through with it eventually." And that's really helpful.
Good. So just kind of keeping that conversation going with your mind so that it's reminded that it's been there, done that.
Yeah, that's right. And
Hmm.
I also want to mention that many people struggle with anxiety for days, months, and years. So, what are some ways that rapid therapy can help with that?
Well, what's unique about rapid therapy is that it allows me to get right to the root of the issue that my clients come to me with. So people feel anxiety or any of these frustrating symptoms for a reason. They don't just appear out of nowhere. And me being able to bypass a lot of unnecessary information and get right to the root of what the cause of that is what rapid therapy allows me to do. And then once you find the cause, then rewiring the brain and teaching it how to operate within the new system is much easier.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely sounds interesting. It's good to get to the bottom of a situation. It's good to understand why people are really struggling with anxiety for years, and you just have to put the entire puzzle together to figure out what's going on with people's everyday lives. And I think that's great.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And it's very refreshing. It's so um, wonderful to be able to have somebody come feeling they're completely lost, they don't know what to do next, and have them walk out and 3 days later say, my goodness, life makes sense now, or I'm able to move on, or whatever it is that they are struggling with. It's I'm very grateful for that for sure.
Yeah, I'm
Hmm.
grateful for that as well. And I bet numerous other people are too.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. That and also, a lot of people like you already kind of found your purpose. You talk about autism, you talk about how that helps, how you've learned to navigate that, and now you're helping others. But a lot of people struggle with what their purpose is. But until and unless you understand what purpose means and what it is for you individually, people feel very lost. And so being able to help people understand specifically what their purpose is has also been a fantastic way to help.
Yeah, definitely sounds like it. So I also want to mention that I feel like when it comes to living with autism, I get stuck over certain things,
Mm,
especially school being kind of rough, people being kind of serious,
yeah.
and it's definitely hard. So where do you usually start to help people like me move forward?
Well, it usually helps me to understand kind of their environment. You know, what's your family life like? Who are the people who are influencing you? What are the things that are influencing you? How do you spend your time? It helps to understand who your client is and how they operate and what affects them. So that's kind of foundational. And then once you understand that, I then want to know, how is this thing that's frustrating you affecting you? How does it hinder you? How does it interfere with your day to day life or you doing the things that you want to do? So once I get clear about that, now then I'm able to go and assess and find the exact reason for why this is happening. And so that is kind of the process. And then what happens in my sessions, Jacob, is, are you familiar with neurolinguistics?
I don't think I am. What are neurolinguistics?
So neuro is you know the word neuro, and linguistics is the language. So using the language to specifically communicate certain truths to your mind to be able to have it grasp something in the way that is helpful for the mind is kind of what neurolinguistics allows you to do. And when I work with my clients, one of the things that happens in our session is I record an audio for them. And then they listen to this audio, and that allows them to build their neural pathways or the little um, synapses, the connections inside of their brain that it's almost like building a new road for them to walk on instead of going down the old path. And so that is a portion of what I do. And in fact, on my website, there's a link to an audio that I've made for a lot of students who have struggled with anxiety when taking tests when it comes to exams time. And your listeners are welcome to go to my website, ninofincher.com, and find the link to audio. It's been really helpful in allowing the brain to kind of reset so that that frustration, nervousness isn't there when it comes to taking tests, whether you're 12 years old or 28 years old. A lot of olds or 58-year-olds even have to take tests sometimes.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And even though tests can sometimes be stressful, especially in school or work,
Yeah.
it's okay to feel stressed, but it's also okay to learn what you are processing, and that'll help you reduce stress and be able to focus on what you have to do. And that's really
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. It's like you have to find you know, what the cause of the things is. It's almost like I compare it often to, shooting at the target. Like if you do archery, for instance, you can throw the arrows all over the place, but if you don't know where the target is, you're kind of wasting time. So being able to find that target is what we do for our clients.
Yeah, definitely sounds like a great way to figure it all out.
That's right.
Just find out where the target is, and
Yep,
that's where you have to go.
exactly. Because now you're saving yourself all kinds of time and all kinds of energy instead of shooting in the dark and throwing arrows all over the place in the directions that don't make sense. Now you can identify exactly where you're trying to go. And now you're trying to find the shortest way or most efficient way or, you know, most safe way, whatever it is that you need to in order to get to that aim.
Yep. That's right. So